My first question that I like to start off with is when did you first fall in love with comic books?
First fell in love with comic books as a young kid. Batman. Didn't see a lot of representation coming up. So Batman, X-Men, Flash. Those were some of my favorites. I don't think only did Black Panther didn't really get the push when we were young. I'm 40, so
Okay.
so it's like he didn't get the push when we were young, and I don't think I would have been able to appreciate what a king truly meant of as being a king of his own kingdom and his own country. So it was basically the usual suspects for me. Spider-Man, Batman. Never really been the biggest Superman fan. Respected him, of course. X-Men. Wolverine in particular. Those were my guys.
What would you say is your most favorite character of all time, if you had one?
Most favorite character of all time is definitely Black Panther.
Okay.
It definitely, without undisputed. So it's cool because getting the opportunity to go back into the lore. You don't really appreciate it. Like I said, coming up as a kid, you don't really appreciate what T'Challa brought to the table. But I got older and I went back and was able to read through the archives, the stories. Not just him being a warrior, but the compassion that he had, the nuances that went into him as a character. Made him definitely an all-time favorite for me.
So, where did you grow up?
Born and raised Columbia, South Carolina. Born and raised.
Okay, no doubt. South
Carolina. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yep. And also born and raised in the military at 18.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see love for Black Panther? Do you see it as, did it have any influence in creating your new comic book hero, Solar the Sovereign?
100%. The way I broke it down was I wanted Solar to have the strength but the poise, of Black Panther. He's regal, not just royal, but he's regal, almost like he's above any of the pettiness, but he'll get down if he need to get down, and throw them hands. I wanted him to take those characteristics and patience, patience, and his passion and compassion for people was very important for me to insert into Solar's character. And I always say too, I wanted him to be a man of the people. I wanted him to be a man of the people. I wanted him to have that connection kind of to the streets, to the neighborhood. Luke Cage, have the intelligence of, Reed Richards and Adam Brashear, Blue Marvel, which is another one of my favorite characters. And then I wanted him to have the martial arts prowess of characters like Blade, Batman, Daredevil, just to name a few.
I just want to say your character is a beautiful character. The colors are beautiful and striking.
Thank you, brother.
You're dealing with fire, so that you already know the power with red and what that entails. So
yes,
I would just say that it's a very beautiful character, and I say to everybody that watching the visual medium, and that the beauty that certain characters behold in their the way they're fashioned, the way they're designed really matters. It strikes a visual appeal and just it piques curiosity, which entices sales.
Absolutely.
Everybody got to understand that the artist is the rock star in this medium. Telling you guys that is a fact because it's not a comic book without the artist. It is just a novel. We over here just writing novels, and those or textbooks or something like that. This is a visual medium. So in designing your characters, take all that into consideration. Bring us into the world of Solar the Sovereign. As far as we don't know nothing, we just seen a visually beautiful character.
Yes,
now, let's into this universe and let us know who Solar the Sovereign is.
Yeah, so thank you again. Just to touch base on what you were talking about, dropping the jewels as far as the character design goes. That was the first order of business for me, was to find the right artist. And I always like to shout out Rick Holmes of TDJ.
Yes, we had him on episode 3.
Yes, appreciate it. He was the one that the first artist I'm a new creator, so still a lot that I don't know. This is my first book. A lot of love, energy, and time to this book. And Solar's story is one of, when the reader into his story, he's only on his third mission. So he's still very much a novice at this superhero thing. Learning, he only has the ear of a couple of the confidants at this moment in time, and he is after a divine encounter with power source, the Fahrenheit Force, takes responsibility, and he accepts the calling. He accepts the calling. Half Photerian. Photerians are the cosmic race chosen by the Fahrenheit Force, and half African American. And readers will see that there's a conflict because what we know as humanity and the things that make us great as humans, compassion, we care, mind, those are the things that, make us human. And outside of Earth, he's going to run into different cosmic races that think that is a weakness. And he will have to balance, sometimes having paralysis by analysis, overthinking something, and
I like that paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, because of his Photerian bloodlines, he is able to absorb a lot of information very quickly. Well, what do you do with that information? Fight or flight, Sometimes more information, more options means more opportunities to get it wrong, until he gets his feet wet and he really kind of gets the hang of this superhero thing. He doesn't really know how to balance that yet. So, we use the tagline, "Savior to one race, sovereign to another." So, he will at some point in time, be responsible for saving the human race, but he will also be the sovereign to his cosmic heritage.
I like that. Well put. Got me up. Now I'm involved and I understand what's going on. What would be the main antagonist in this universe?
Yeah, so the main antagonist is a character by the name of Geostorm. Is a very nuanced character, and there's some psychological things there that make him more dangerous than he looks to the eye. So he's not going to look super menacing. He's not going to look, very dominant, or, I wanted to go kind of for that Lex Luthor, right? To where,
Yes, that's silent. Like, watch out for the silent.
Yeah,
instead of
to
the
the eye,
imposing Batman.
he looks like he can.
Like they always say, those are the ones you got to look out for. Is the quiet ones.
That's right.
That's the approach you're going for. Everybody understands that.
So that's Francisco Grimaldo. Geostorm will be Solar's antagonist.
What's his name?
Francisco Grimaldo. That's his real name.
I like that. Very great villain naming. I fight with names and stuff, so when I see people give great names, I gotta give a salute, because I'm like, what is this guy's name? I look at the person. Yeah. That's why visuals are so important. They're like, what does he look like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. That's Francisco right. Grimaldo, aka Geostorm. Yes, sir.
All right, nice. Can you tell us what kind of we could get in this Kickstarter, and when does it end?
Yeah, so the Kickstarter ends about 4 days. So puts us at Monday, Tuesday. So the Kickstarter ends in about 4 days. Have multiple variant covers by heavy hitting artists, Kanan White.
Yes, that's the guy right there, bro. Love Kanan White. I had him on the show too in his first iteration. Funny talking to him. He's been he's on fire, boy, when he laid out that pencil.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. White, man, because again, as a new creator and somebody who doesn't have a book out yet, who doesn't have a body of work, really all I pitched to him was, Solar the character, what it meant to me, a little bit of the backstory like we're talking about now, and really embraced me, took a chance on me. And the cover speaks for itself, so he's responsible for the cover.
Man, bro.
Yeah,
coming out the gate, that's a big win.
And then we got Mr. Sean Hill on cover as well.
that's a
So
dynamic
yes,
duo,
sir.
bro.
Yes,
That's
sir.
like, yo, that right there, dynamic duo. I'm just
Thank
letting
you, bro.
everybody know out there. If you see Sean Hill cover, the Kane and White cover on the Kickstarter,
Yeah.
you might as well get it. Because it's Ad Williams right now. Click the link in his bio, shoot you to the Kickstarter. So this is what you getting out the
Thank
gate.
you.
You getting
Thank you.
Sean Hill and you getting Kane and White covers.
Yes.
You know
And
what
you
I'm
know,
saying?
I'm a
Yo, what else we got?
loyal dude too. So for cover B, you know, it was important for me to ensure that Tariq Holmes, you know, of TDJ Comics, he did cover B. And
Nice.
so, you know, he was able to do cover B. He's responsible for the design that, you know, many like yourself have shown so much love for. It meant a lot to me to have him to be responsible for one of the covers of the gate.
Definitely
Every
was a hit
issue.
with that one.
And then lastly, you know, we have the official trading card by Mr. Marcus Williams, who's one of my favorite artists. So who's
You
responsible
got the
for?
heavy hitters.
Yes, sir.
Marcus Williams,
Yeah.
heavy hitters,
Yes,
B.
sir.
What at all? It's Black History Month. So that's three black up and coming young
Yes.
stars. Y'all
Yes.
need to watch out. You know what I'm saying? When they doing them.
You know, in regards to Concrete Comics, because, you know, Lonzo, you know, Lonzo Starr, if you don't know, he's our CEO, our fearless leader, the general, as I call him. And also the writer and creator of Acolyte and Zoriel. You know, at the time, Lonzo didn't even know that I'd even reached out to these artists. You know, and, you know, I did it off the strength because it was before we had made any announcements about me being a part of Concrete Comics. So, as I've been telling new creators lately, man, like, believe in your characters, man, because these artists who have equity in the game, who have cachet to, you know, and they've been around, man, they didn't have to look my way. They didn't have to take a chance on, you know, a new creator who has no body of work, you know, but I just kept posting my character. I kept believing in my character. I kept talking about my character as if there was a book that was already out there. And the same goes for Lonzo, for somebody who the process of building a brand with Concrete Comics and of all black characters or black and brown characters. You know, there's challenges that come with that. So for him to extend his hand to me and invite me to the table, it just tells you everything you need to know about him as a leader, man. So I just wanted to give him his flowers as well.
No doubt. To everybody out there creating, keep manifesting. Manifestation is just taking your thoughts and your beliefs and putting it into tangible that you could and that you can hold. So at the end of the day, just keep doing what you're
Absolutely.
doing, bringing out your ideas, and the passion is going to show. Because if you have passion, that's the fuel that you're going to need to keep going. You know what I'm
That's
saying,
right.
Neil?
That's
So
right.
I hope everybody out there, especially if you be in my messages, if y'all got ideas, this is the inspiration you need to make it come live. So keep posting. Same way y'all guys see me posting, keep doing your thing.
Please
Keep
keep
doing
posting.
what makes you happy, and success will follow. That's a great example of that. What's the best and the worst parts of creating comic books to you?
Parts undoubtedly is when a thought come to your head, an idea, and then seeing it manifest on paper, a form. Wish everybody could feel. I wish everybody could feel that gratification and that reward to have a literally a thought, our imagination, and our mind. I was in my room, and I was like, "Oh man, Solar. Is there a character out there named Solar? Okay, Solar the Sovereign. Sound pretty cool. You know, this is how I want him to look. All of this in my mind, all of this in my head, and then taking action and then seeing that first design. Now he here. It's like, oh, it's no longer a thought. This is the actual. This is an actual character, and it's up to me. Okay, well, you know, what's the story gonna be, right? And then we start thinking about that, and we take bits and pieces, and I wanted to take bits and pieces of all of the characters that I love and wanted to create something and put it in the solar. So that's the best part for me is manifesting a thought, having it show up on the panels, in the pinups, on the covers, and seeing everybody's own individual flair drawing your character. Everybody has their own style. So,
Your own style, bro. I
right.
love to see artists' style. And
Yes,
sometimes it's just a slight variation,
that's
and
right.
sometimes it's a major variation, but
That's right.
it's still fire. You know what I'm saying? You in their style. So nothing
Absolutely.
like seeing a character you do and then have like fan art or a certain artist draw your character, and just to see the difference, it's like wow.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Like, sometimes you look at like, damn, I didn't even view my character like that before. Like,
Man,
you know what I'm saying to you? Make you look at it all different. It affects your
100%.
writing too. When you have all those
Oh,
things in
100%.
front of you, it definitely inspires your writing because now you're like,
Oh,
man, now my writing has to match, right? Now you have to say, so now my writing has to match the magnificence that
come
this
on.
artist just laid down. You know what I'm saying to you? So it goes
100%.
hand in hand.
A
It
hundred
fuels
percent.
you.
There's been times where I've gotten pieces back and I'm like, oh, man, I get to the pen, and
Yeah.
I've always been like that. A guy that once I put it on paper, then that's a way for me to get the ideas and into a rhythm, and I just keep writing. Yeah, definitely one of the best things, probably the best thing about in comics for myself. That's what my least favorite. Times long it takes to get some of the pages back, the books, and yeah, yeah, I have great artists, and that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Is patience. Want it done right. And
Mhm.
I do
Definitely.
appreciate the artists that if we got to go back and tweak certain things, very important. They would want to put the hair in the Solar's eyes, and I'm like, nah, only in his left eye. He's half Otarian, half human. And they're like,
Yeah,
no,
you
it's
got
little
because
deep.
you know the
Yeah,
little key nuances that you
yes,
want to keep there that becomes the symbol of who that character is. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
You got to fight
So,
for that.
and one of the things that was probably the least favorite over this past year was into, you want to, when we're in these different groups and we have friendly battles and like that, you can't really give information. You know what your character would do in that situation, even if it's written, but the story isn't out yet. So it's like,
Yeah.
absolutely. I,
That leads me to my next question. How do you feel about AI? This new AI revolution, and we're going with Pandora's box opening up here.
so I had to get educated, and I never used it way that would artists would deem it to be disrespectful. Have used it very early on to formulate certain ideas of like if I wanted to, okay, what does a reactor, look like if I was to take energy and do this, and may have,
Is
and I completely support not using it to take money and food out of artists' mouth. They need to be paid for efforts, and I'm really a supporter of that.
what do you love and what do you hate about the indie comic community?
I love seeing diversity, of course, of black and brown people, but not just black and brown people. I love seeing all people, characters into this indie verse that nobody has ever seen before, you know, because everybody putting their own flair, their own imagination, use, and it's so cool to be a part of it. I love seeing character, somebody say, hey, this is a new character I have, right? And then over the course of time, you'll see them continue to post more, whether it be, a bio that's added or that's see them collaborating in a crossover. I love seeing the unity. On the side, what I don't like about the indie space is we do tend to pull each other down, and if somebody is perceived that somebody is ahead of you in some way, so not reach back and help the next man along. Because spirit of competition, we can get lost on, hey, character is not your character, and your journey is not my journey. If you've been doing this for 5 years and I've been doing this for 1 year, you're gonna be ahead of me. That's just the way it goes. Um,
Mhm.
you know, but collaborate. We can work together, and I see a lot of that more than I. But you have guys that they'll leave maybe sarcastic comments. And I was like, we don't need another Superman clone, right? And I'm like, and I didn't even respond because I'm my character. Nothing. The only thing that you can correlate parallels between the two is the sun. But I don't. The way that Superman uses the sun and the way that
Nah, I didn't even think that didn't even come to my mind. Superman.
I that might have been a lazy take from that person, which is fine. Everybody has their opinion, and I don't even, there's no need to even give it a rebuttal. I just have so much passion and fun creating my guy and the story around
I
him.
think, I mean, at this point right now, with the duopoly of the big two and everything that they've done and the total catalog of characters that they both have made, I think it is
Mhm.
really not realistic to anybody out there trying to create, with quotations, air quotes, a superhero that it's not going to be compared to somebody else. I
A
don't
hundred
can't
percent.
fathom in my mind that anybody creating anything right now. I know all creative people are very funny and sensitive. If you're creating something, it is impossible that people out there are not going to hold that candle and say, "Well, this person reminds me of that person or that person," and it's not always ill intent. It's
Yes,
just the natural order of things. That's how the brain operates. You show me a superhero, most likely 99% chance that you're not the only one. There's something out there that's similar to that character.
a hundred
It's just
percent.
about you doing your best as a creator to make your character unique and to have all the things that makes that particular character special and highlighting whatever it is that makes them stand out. That's all it is. But
I
if
couldn't
you
have
are
said it
in the
better.
game, this is what you're gonna get. And if you're really that's not something you want, then you're being unrealistic and you should stop. You know what I'm saying to you? So anything come out there for you to go crazy as a creator and to be going warring with people in your comments, that's not the way you should conduct yourself. You tell somebody, yo, thank you for the look anyway. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying to you?
yep. That's right.
Hopefully the difference of what will make my character different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right there. You know what I'm saying to you? So I just calm down. Don't get your in a bunch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No,
Your
absolutely.
niggas in a bunch. It's
Yeah,
definitely
and
gonna happen.
exactly what you just said is the same advice that was given to me, and it actually helped me and gave me some freedom in my creative process.
Mhm.
'Cause they say, "Hey, Dad, man, listen, you're never gonna find anything that's 100% authentic and unique that
One of
hasn't been
one.
that's one of
There's
one."
no new thing under the sun. Not even a new thought. Like
Yeah,
it's
right,
hard to find a new
right.
thought.
And it was important to me to create a character represented light. And the sun is the biggest caster of light, so I would go that route.
Yeah, even when you look in the universe, it's the stars that the heat that bring the light into
That's
the
right.
cosmos. It's things that the solar systems of the galaxies. That's the point. That's
Absolutely.
the generator. That's the reactor. So you
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? To you, it's obvious that these things is gonna. I don't feel no way, But people that do, I don't. Some people that just showing you who they are as a person. But next question is, what has to happen for you to say to yourself, "I made it"? That's different for everybody. That's why I asked the question in that manner. Some people might just say, "Oh, just because my comic book is out and you can read it, I made it." Some people might say, "Well, I need something to achieve this or that." What do you have to achieve to say, "Hey, man, now at this point, I feel that I made it"?
You said it. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I have my own comic book out. I told the 12-year-old me
Yeah,
as a kid that he would have his own superhero one day, his own comic book, and his own story, making it to me. Like,
yeah.
this is one of the best that I could have ever found. Because, and to speak about COVID, I wasn't even aware that the community was out there like this. So
That's
we
how I
had
felt in 2020, bro. I was right
until
where
we
you
had
at.
to
Like,
sit down, right?
damn.
And it was,
Like, why y'all
and
took so long to hit me up?
oh, I'm when I was forced to sit down like everybody else was, and like, oh, this is a thing, like indie comics, indie creators, and these books, and I started getting in these groups like Black Comic Lords and seeing all of these different, and stories and characters, man, it was awakening. It was an eye opener. It really was. And so I always, from that point, kind of kept it in the back of my head. I was like, man, I would love to create my character one day if lined up right. And I would just keep little notes and things that I knew that wanted to showcase if I ever did create a book and create a character. And it was amazing to that point. So to me, making it is my own character, having my own book underneath an imprint like Concrete Comics that recognizes this is our culture. Me, there's no better win than that, and everything else is just being extra.
Right?
Yep.
You will definitely achieve what you're looking for. So remember that. If you're thinking about the success, nothing's gonna come. But if you're thinking about the process, a whole bunch is gonna come.
And I'm enjoying the process, bro.
Exactly, because luck favors, the prepared. So you get everything together, you have prepared. What you have when you have 10, 15, 20 issues of a comic is actually type is what you hold in your hand. The proof of concept is what they call it.
There you go. Yes,
So
sir.
now you're not just about a person talking in somebody's ears. If you slap down 20 comics in front of anybody about anything, what they'll see is the person's ability to manifest his ideas sitting in front of them.
Yes.
And that alone gives you or warrants you at least a conversation with whoever it is in your head you think you want to talk to. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. It was
I keep in mind when I'm creating.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna play this little game. We're gonna end the interview with this little game. We're picking up this Kickstarter. Remember, guys, click the link in the bio. The Kickstarter is almost coming to an end. We got like 4 days left. We got Variant by the Triple Threat. We got Kanan White. We got Sean Damian Hill, and we got Marcus Williams. And then we got the Becoming Creative, who's really doing this thing. I'm gonna be going to him for some animation work, which is the good of Tariq Holmes.
Yes, sir.
We definitely got a variant cover by him, and he's the one that designed Solo the Sovereign. So shout out to Tariq Holmes. All right, guys, don't want to miss it. Click the link in the bio. Shoot you straight to the Kickstarter.